What really obvious thing have you only just realized? I recently realized I was allergic to carrots. I just thought they made everyone's mouth numb, you know, just like almonds. I also learned recently that I have an almond allergy. Super embarrassing, but in college I would order rum and cokes because I heard everyone else ordering the same. Turns out I misheard everyone and found out it was just rum and coke. That the division symbol is just a blank fraction with dots replacing the numerator and denominator. That Jessica Rabbit is not a rabbit, but took Roger Rabbit's last name. I live in a part of Chicago called Greektown for 8 years and never realized the blue and white Christmas lights were meant to represent the colors on their flag. It just dawned on me today. I live in Denmark, so English is not my native language, and I just realized that weekend means the end of the week. The first time I visited the USA I was on my own and in NY and going to all the museums. I kept seeing signs that said no strollers and thought, because we call strollers prams in the UK, that you guys are super strict about the proper amount of attention required to visit a museum. I actually pretended to show more interest than I had in order not to be thought of as some deadbeat out for a casual stroll. It wasn't until about day 3 that I saw a no strollers sign that included a graphic for idiots. Edit, woo. Thanks for the gold and silver and 40x the karma. I thought astigmatism was astigmatism. So I thought you could have 2 stigmatisms. This girl I know has a dog named Diogi. 2 years into knowing her and being around Diogi, I was having a conversation with her sister-in-law and I said I love the name Diogi. How did she come up with that? Her sister-in-law responds, Diogi, and I said yay, it's a neat name. She started laughing and said no, D-O-G, the way you spell dog. I'm still mind blown about this lol. The Grammys are called that because the awards are gramophones. That big ship's wheel I got to turn as a kid was not actually controlling the cruise ship. When I was little we had an Australian shepherd named Sydney. I didn't understand why her name was Sydney until 18 years later. Today my friend realized pipe cleaners were originally for cleaning pipes. After I suggested using one to clean a metal straw because it's similar to a pipe. I learned that allspice is actually one spice and not a blend of spices containing cinnamon and nutmeg. Edit, reworded. I do not think cinnamon and nutmeg are blends. For the longest time, I always thought prima donna was prima donna. When I was a kid my mom told me my rabbit Rosie went to live on a farm. In my early 20s I saw an episode of The Sopranos where everyone makes fun of Tony when he realizes his dog didn't really go to live on a farm. That's when I realized Rosie had not gone to a farm either. Edit, I would like to officially apologize for the cascading wave of terrible realizations my post has caused. Truly we sit on thrones of lies. Edit 2. It turns out a lot of animals really do get to go live on the farm from the responses here, so that's cool. For a long time I thought to bust a nut meant that you were going to kick a guy in the balls or beat him up. So anytime I was getting worked up or angry talking about some guy I would say I'm going to bust his ducking nut, not knowing the real meaning. Nobody ever said anything, but it was always followed by my friends laughing, so I assumed it was because I was being dramatic. Years go by and my coworker is telling me about some rude person he met and I said you should definitely bust that guy's nut, to which he paused and said, do you even know what that means? Suffice it to say I was extremely embarrassed and horrified when he explained it to me. Edit, oh wow, thank you for the silver. Glad my first silver had to do with busting a nut. P.S. For those who were asking, to bust a nut where I'm from means to ejaculate everywhere or jerk someone else off. Edit 2, gold? Wowee, I'm glad this made people laugh. Feeling much better knowing a lot of other folks made similar mistakes, ahaha. The houses in Bikini Bottom are car mufflers. That Michelangelo's David is David from David and Goliath. How did I not know this? I thought it was just dude called Dave. Edit. I love how many of you just learnt this today or very recently, and just thought he was some dude called Dave too. We got there in the end, guys, better late than never. Edit. I never knew there was a sling, I thought it was his trousers. Yes, I honestly thought that. Never saw the rocks. Edit. I'm gonna need some more Dave's not here, man comments before this post is complete. M30 and I realized a few months ago that howdy is cowboy for how do you do. That they put measurement stickers next to gas station doors so if a robber is running out of the store you can get a better estimate of their height. I always thought they were just there for something fun to do on road trip stops. Not me, but my husband just understood that Q is pronounced Q and not key. His mind was blown. Not me, but my sister asked me about 2.5 months ago when we were watching John Wick 3 during the desert scene. She asked me if they were real and I asked if what were real and she said sandlands and I busted out laughing so goddamn hard and said, you mean deserts? Yes, they're real. Thinking about it right now got me laughing. That parents have children write letters to Santa so they can figure out what to buy them for Christmas. I can't believe how I never put that together after 32 years on this earth. I just thought it was fun little tradition. That the Houston Astros name comes from astronauts. Today the radio taught me Mariah Carey wrote and sang All I Want for Christmas Is You. All this time I thought it was just a cover that she did so well, people loved it more than the original. Turns out it is the original. Cruella de Vil was a cruel devil. The villain in Halloween is not played by Michael Myers. Principal Belding from Saved by the Bell is named Belding. It called Men's Warehouse and not Men's Warehouse. It's been a couple years since I realized this and I just think that's a clever name. Saw a place labeled as Public House when I moved nearby recently. It was at that moment I realized, oh, that's why they call them pubs. It's short for public house. Personal injury lawyer commercials play more frequently during daytime TV because their clientele is injured, stuck at home, and watching daytime TV. I always thought you can't have your cake and eat it, too was a weird saying because why wouldn't I be able to eat my freaking slice of cake? It's my cake. Nobody was telling me that I can't have my cake. Turns out they mean you can't eat the cake while also still retaining it. Once it is eaten, it is gone. An idiom I did not understand until this year. I am 27. Edit. Thank you for the silver kind stranger. Phineas and Ferb are shaped like a P and an F. The reason the cord hook on the vacuum spins is so you can take the whole cord off at once instead of unraveling it one loop at a time, like I have been my whole life. Edit. I learned how to spell cord today. My mom used to make my sisters and I belly buttons for dinner. I was 27 when I realized that they were actually tortellini, but she knew we were dumb kids and would refuse something named so strange even though they were delicious. Edit. Because people are still seeing this apparently. Once she was making fried shrimp for dinner. My sisters and I hated fried shrimp but we loved popcorn shrimp from Long John Silver's. We complained so my mom said okay, go away and I'll make you some popcorn shrimp instead. We left and she says she took half the shrimp she was already using and cut it in two and then fried it that way. We cleaned the friggin' bowl. We were dumb kids and she was a good, smart mom. I realized that to be in one's birthday suit it means to be without clothes. I thought for the longest time it was a specific set of clothes you would wear on your birthday each year. I found out when I asked, what happens when you don't fit in your birthday suit anymore? Lol. My bedroom door was broken and I finally got around to fixing it. Thought the knob was broke cause it was pushed in towards the door so I pulled it out and realized that was how you locked the door.